At first glance, it looks like an ordinary Sacagawea dollar, the one with the Native American woman and her baby on the front. You might think it's only worth $1, but what if I told you that some of these coins are worth $73,000, $90,000, or even $110,000 or more? That's right. One of the rarest and most valuable modern coins ever made by the U.S. Mint is a 2000 P Sacagawea dollar with a huge mistake, and it's known today as the mule error. This error has made a few lucky people thousands of dollars richer, and it could still be hiding out there in someone's change jar or coin collection right now. Here's where the excitement begins. Back in the year 2000, the U.S. Mint released the brand new golden dollar coin to honor Sacagawea, the brave Shoshone woman who helped guide the Lewis and Clark expedition. The new dollar was supposed to replace the old Susan B. Anthony dollar, and it had a bright gold color and smooth edge so it would stand out from other coins. Millions were made at the Philadelphia Mint, marked with the small letter P on the front. Most of these coins are common and still worth only $1. But among all those coins, a small handful turned out very different because of a mix-up at the mint that no one expected. During the coin-making process, two different dies are used, one for the front, called the obverse, and one for the back, the reverse. Somehow, a die meant for the Washington quarter, the coin with George Washington's face, was accidentally paired with the reverse die of the Sacagawea dollar. When the press struck those blanks, the result was unbelievable. A coin with George Washington's face on one side and the Sacagawea eagle design on the other side, made from the golden dollar metal. This was a true minting error, what collectors call a mule coin, a mix of two designs that were never meant to go together. Only a few of these special coins were made before the mistake was noticed, and experts believe fewer than 20 real ones exist today. The very first one was discovered by a coin collector in 2000, and when word got out, the coin world went wild. Collectors couldn't believe such a dramatic mistake could happen in modern times, with all the technology and quality checks at the mint. But it was real, and it instantly became one of the most famous modern errors in U.S. coin history. Now let's talk about the value, because that's what makes this story so thrilling. The regular 2000 P Sacagawea dollar is only worth $1 if it's been used, and maybe a few dollars if it's still shiny and uncirculated. But the mule error coins? Those have sold for tens of thousands and even hundreds of thousands of dollars. One of the earliest sales went for around $30,000. As collectors realized how rare they were, the prices shot up fast. A few years later, one of these mule coins sold for about $70,000, and another reached over $90,000. In 2018, a perfect example sold for $192,000, and in 2024 one sold for more than $194,000 at auction. That's almost $200,000 for a $1 coin. Even lower-grade versions today can easily bring between $73,000 and $110,000, depending on condition. So how can you tell if you might have one of these valuable coins? First, look at the front. The normal 2000 P Sacagawea dollar shows Sacagawea and her baby, but the error coin shows George Washington's head, the same design as on the quarter. That's the biggest and easiest clue. Next, check the back. It should have the flying eagle and the words, United States of America, and $1, just like a normal Sacagawea dollar. Then look at the edge of the coin. A real Sacagawea dollar has a smooth edge, but a quarter has little ridges. The mule coin has the smooth edge like the dollar, not the ridges. Finally, check the color. The dollar coin is golden, while quarters are silver-colored. The rare mule has the golden color of the Sacagawea dollar, not the silver of a quarter. If your coin matches all those details, George Washington on the front, Sacagawea eagle on the back, smooth edge, and golden color, then you might have one of the most valuable coins in America. But don't get too excited until you have it checked by a professional. Because these coins are worth so much money, there are fake ones out there, and it takes an expert to confirm a real mint error. If you think yours might be real, you can send it to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. They'll inspect it, verify it's genuine, and seal it in a plastic holder with a grade. That proof can add even more value if you decide to sell. You might wonder how such a big mistake even happened. The US Mint runs hundreds of coin presses, switching out dies for different coins all the time. Somewhere along the way, someone accidentally used the wrong die for the Washington quarter die when they were supposed to be making Sacagawea dollars. A few coins were struck before anyone noticed the mistake. Once the error was found, production was stopped, and the dies were removed. But by then, a small batch of these coins had already escaped into the world, mixed in with normal coins. That's why it's so rare and valuable today. There are a few other interesting varieties of the 2000 Sacagawea dollar, like the Cheerios dollar, which was included in cereal boxes as a promotion and has extra detail on the eagle's feathers, or the wounded eagle error, where a line cuts through the bird's chest. Those coins can also be valuable, sometimes a few hundred or a few $1,000s in top condition, but nothing compares to the mule error coin. That one sits at the top of the list for modern US Mint errors. If you ever think you have one, handle it carefully. Don't clean it or polish it, because that can ruin the surface and lower its value. Keep it in a soft holder or coin case to protect it. Take clear pictures and show them to an expert or a coin shop before you do anything else. If it turns out to be the real thing, you'll want to contact a trusted auction house or dealer who handles rare coins. They can help you sell it for the best price, and if it's in great condition, you could be looking at a life-changing amount of money. Even if you don't have the rare mule coin, this story shows how amazing coin collecting can be. A simple dollar coin that most people overlook can turn out to be a six-figure treasure. Every time you get change or go through old coins, it's like going on a little treasure hunt. Somewhere out there, maybe in a forgotten drawer or an old roll of coins, one of these rare mules might still be hiding, waiting for someone to find it. So next time you see a golden dollar coin dated 2000 with a P mint mark, take a closer look. If you see George Washington's face staring back at you, your heart might skip a beat, because that could be the coin worth $73,000, $90,000, or even more than $110,000. It's the kind of discovery that every coin collector dreams about. Who knows, maybe the next big treasure story will be yours. Most people think it's just another dollar, but a few lucky ones have discovered that special versions of this coin could be worth $125,000, $143,000, or even $188,000. It sounds crazy, right? But that's the thrill of coin collecting. Sometimes a tiny minting mistake or a perfect coin can change everything. So let's talk about why this coin is special, what makes some worth huge money, and how you can check if yours is one of those rare treasures. The Susan B. Anthony dollar first appeared in 1979. It was the first U.S. coin to show a real woman instead of the usual Lady Liberty. The coin honored Susan B. Anthony, a famous women's rights leader. The U.S. Mint made these coins to replace the old large silver dollars that were heavy and hard to carry. The new dollar coin was smaller, lighter, and made mostly of copper and nickel instead of silver. There were three main mint locations that made these coins that year: Philadelphia, marked with a P, Denver, marked with a D, and San Francisco, marked with an S. The 1979 D means it was made in Denver. Now, here's the thing: there were over 288 million of these 1979 D coins made. That's a huge number. So most of them are very common and only worth $1. But a few special ones have become legends among collectors because of rare minting mistakes or perfect condition. These are the coins that make headlines and go for crazy amounts at auctions. When people talk about a 1979 D being worth six figures, they're usually talking about an error coin. That means something went wrong when it was made. For example, sometimes a coin is struck on the wrong metal blank. Imagine if a Susan B. Anthony dollar was accidentally printed on a planchet meant for a quarter or a foreign coin. That kind of mistake makes it one of a kind, and collectors will pay huge money for it. There have been cases of $1,979 with these errors selling for over $10,000 or even more. Another kind of error is called an off-center strike, when part of the design is missing because the blank wasn't lined up right. Some of those coins can sell for hundreds or thousands depending on how dramatic the mistake looks. One of the most famous examples from this coin family was a 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar that was struck on top of a 1978 quarter. It sold for about $14,000 at auction. That wasn't even a Denver Mint coin, it was from Philadelphia, but it shows how wild the values can get when a true error appears. If something like that ever turned up on a 1979 D coin, the price could easily skyrocket, maybe even into the six-figure range if it was the only one known. Sometimes, a coin doesn't have a major error but is just in unbelievably perfect condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, where MS 70 means mint state perfection. No scratches, no marks, no wear at all. Most coins from your change will be heavily worn, but uncirculated coins straight from mint sets can grade very high. A 1979 D graded at MS 68 once sold for about $1,500. If a perfect MS 69 or MS 70 example were ever found, it could break records because collectors love perfect coins. There are also varieties, which are small design differences that happened when the dies were made. For example, the 1979 P dollar has a wide rim or near-date version that's much rarer than the normal one. Sadly, the Denver version, the 1979 D, doesn't have a famous variety like that. So if you have a 1979 D, its value really depends on condition or a rare minting mistake. If you have one of these coins, the first step is to check it carefully. You should see a small D mint mark just above Susan B. Anthony's shoulder. Look for anything strange about the coin, odd colors, weird shapes, missing parts, or parts of another coin showing through. Those are clues it could be an error coin. Next, check the surface. Is it shiny like a mirror, with no scratches? Does it look like it just came out of the mint? If so, it might be in mint state condition and worth getting graded. You can send coins to professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC. They'll examine it, give it an official grade, and seal it in a protective holder. That grading makes it easier to sell and proves it's genuine. But before you get too excited, it's important to know that most of these coins are not worth huge money. Most are only worth $1, maybe $2 or $3 if uncirculated. Even beautiful ones might go for $10 or $20. The coins worth thousands or more are the true rarities, the ones with major minting errors or flawless condition. Many online posts and social media videos claim these coins are automatically worth hundreds of thousands, but that's not true for most of them. Those big numbers come from extremely rare examples that hardly anyone has ever seen. That doesn't mean you shouldn't look, though. Because the thrill of finding one of those rare mistakes is real. Imagine buying a roll of Susan B. Anthony dollars at a coin shop or finding one in your old change jar, and realizing you're holding something no one else has. That's the dream of every collector. And if the right buyer comes along, your $1 coin could become your ticket to a life-changing moment. To keep your coin safe, don't clean it. Cleaning can actually lower its value because it scratches the surface. Just handle it carefully by the edges and store it in a plastic holder or small bag until you know more. If you think it might be special, show it to a coin expert or send it for grading. You can even compare it to online images of known error coins to see if anything matches.